What's going on? Today we're talking about the 10 mentalities that keep people poor and how to avoid them. And at the end of this video, you'll learn how much money did Amazon.com make in its first week of launching. It's quite surprising. And let's get started. Poor mentality number 1. Having low or no financial standards. Jordan Belfort, aka the Wolf of Wall Street, says that if he is not on track to make at least $10 million a year, he cannot sleep. We all have standards of how much money we should be making, but for many, this is not conscious. Even if it's unconscious, you will start to feel anxious if your income gets lower than your standard, and everyone has a different number. By making an effort to create a new standard rather than the one we already have, or even worse, one that was given to us by a boss, can make a huge difference in the effort we put to increase our income. So question, what is your financial standard? Poor mentality number 2. It's not my fault. Have you ever met people who do nothing wrong? Nothing is ever their fault. See, this is because they blame something or someone else for their situation. See, when we blame other things, we give up our ability to control. Since it's not our fault, we cannot control it. This is very dangerous when it comes to money, because by blaming something or someone else for our financial situation, we are telling ourselves that we cannot control our finances. It's like getting in the backseat of your car and hoping it drives itself. Yes, I know, Tesla set out to ruin my metaphor, but you get the point. Poor mentality number 3. Rich people are the worst. Many people see the rich with resentment, like if somehow they are responsible for their financial situation. See, the problem is that when you see people who are rich and wealthy in a negative way, you naturally try to avoid being in the same category, and you unconsciously avoid having a lot of money. If you consider rich people to be greedy, selfish, or just bad people, and it's something that you don't aspire to be, you will have a difficult time creating wealth. But if you consider rich and successful people to be hardworking, intelligent, generous people who decided to challenge the status quo and do things their way in order to provide people with something that wasn't there before, and that is something you aspire to be, you will have a lot less resistance within yourself to achieve your financial goals. Poor mentality number 4. Come on, it's not realistic. Something that I see a lot is many people think is not possible to be financially independent or even rich. Not only that, but I see people trying to discourage others to think the same. Now, I know that it can be difficult to grasp this idea because most of the people around us are pretty much the same. They're not rich. Something that is very powerful is meeting people who are at the level you want to be. By actually seeing and interacting with those people will remove the belief that our goals are not possible, because we know people who have accomplished them. Now, some of the easiest ways to meet these people is to go to some of the places they go to, like conferences or even masterminds. There, you can socialize and make friends with those people who are in the same path as you are or even ahead of you. Poor mentality number 5. Just go to college. You'll be financially well if you do so. A good college education might increase the chances of finding a job, but this doesn't mean that by having a college degree, you're automatically a financial genius. See, most schools don't teach financial literacy. There's no How to Minimize Taxes 101 or Wealth Building 205. That is up to the individual to learn how to handle their own finances. Like we've talked about in previous videos, no matter how much a person makes, if they mismanage their money, they will not be financially well. So college will not determine your financial wellness, but your financial literacy will. Poor mentality number 6. Rich people were born rich. Now, there's many people who have inherited money. There is definitely people with generational wealth, but something that seems to happen is that people use this as an excuse to not even try to build their own wealth. When people use this excuse, they limit themselves. For example, in one of my previous videos, I talked about Bill Gates, and one person commented, well, Bill Gates had everything. He had more opportunities than the average person. Whether this is true or not has nothing to do with our own ability to build wealth. See, by saying that all rich people were born rich, you are inherently saying that you can't be rich because you weren't born in a wealthy family. This takes away our control. Since we can't control the family we were born in, we are essentially saying that we can't control our finances. Poor mentality number 7. I work so hard, I should be getting paid more. Many people grew up with the mentality of exchanging time for money. The harder you work, the more you should get paid, right? Think about this. Let's say that you are a personal trainer and you work out really hard to teach a 5-person class and you make $10 per person. Now, let's say that instead of 5, you teach a 50-person class with the same $10 per person. You work out just as hard. Now, let's say that you take it to the next level. You get some cameras and you record your training sessions and you sell them online to 100,000 people and you make the same, $10 per person. Which of these will make you the most money? In all 3, you work out the same, but the paycheck is very different. In the first 2 scenarios, you have to work out every time to serve people. In the third scenario, you do it once and you keep serving people who buy your program. Of course, it takes more than that to build a business, but you get the idea. Money is proportionate to the value you provide. If you pay attention, very rich people focus on delivering as much value as possible to as many people as possible in the shortest amount of time possible. Poor mentality number 8. Money won't make you happy. Many say if you think money can't make you happy, you're spending it wrong. Whether money makes you happy or not has nothing to do with building a good financial life. If you believe that money won't make you happy, good. You can still make it and live a life with more options. See, many people use this as an excuse to not even try to achieve a good financial life. Like entrepreneur Grant Cardone says, being rich and being happy have nothing to do with each other. So you should do both. Poor mentality number 9. Investing, that's just for the rich. This is kind of interesting because if you've ever read books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, or Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and pretty much any other wealth building book, investing is a key point in every single one of them. But for many people, investing seems to be out of their reach, like something that only rich people do. And one of the reasons is due to lack of knowledge. So taking the time to learn to invest can be a huge financial positive. Poor mentality number 10. My best friend just got a new car, so I must get one too. I know that we are naturally built to conform to society. We are social creatures. It's wired in our brain. It can be very hard to resist being part of the crowd. We can be very tempted to buy that car or that expensive phone just because everyone around us have them. But a great way to use this natural social instinct to conform in your advantage is to find people who think in a very similar way that you do. This way, you can be part of this awesome like-minded community that motivates you to reach your full potential. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when we upload new videos. And after 3 days of launching in July of 1994, Yahoo offered Amazon founder Jeff Bezos to be featured in Yahoo's What's Cool page. After that, orders skyrocketed, and in the first week of launching, Amazon brought in over $12,000. Not bad for the first week. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.